This message is brought to you by Venmo. Being a football fan isn't always easy, especially during the postseason. The stakes are high, the pressures are through the roof, and your team is out there struggling against impossible odds while all you can do is just watch? That's hard. But paying with Venmo all playoff long? That's easy. Whether you're catching a ride to the stadium, ordering food to the watch party, or hooking yourself up with some vintage swag, just pay with Venmo for great deals on your favorite brands. Terms and exclusions apply.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz podcast.
We are going to begin our real Super Bowl coverage, for real, in a few minutes here when Fred Warner shows up with whatever it is he's shilling. We make fun every year of the fact that these guys come on and they're shilling something. We'll find out together what Fred Warner is shilling. We won't do this now, but can we do this later in the week? Can we alter Stugotz's annual Super Bowl question? Just throw in somebody's voice saying Patriots and Seahawks instead of what's the single most important thing that Stugotz always says somebody has to do to win the Super Bowl. It doesn't. You don't have to do it for Fred Warner, but for future guests. I'd like to establish the bit right now to see if anyone
the Bears
comments
win or the Packers lose
on the Ooh, that's not bad, but we need the teams in the Super Bowl. We need to see if somebody before the way that we've done the bit is, and it's always worked. Stugotz appears to be coughing something up, and no one comments on the fact that he sounds horrible. They just answer the question of what's the most important thing somebody has to do to win the Super Bowl. I want to add an element to it by just throwing Patriots in there in somebody else's voice and Seahawks in somebody else's voice and see if everyone just answers the question or whether somebody stops in their tracks and say, why was that question asked that way?
I believe, given the recent Super Bowl history of that franchise, we probably only have to edit one of the team names.
That's probable, actually. So Fred Warner will join us here in a little bit. Also, Greg Cote, I can't believe that he revealed to me moments ago, hey, Dan, the Winter Olympics start tomorrow. Did not know that. Was unaware that the Winter Olympics were starting. The Olympics every year, fairly big thing. Everybody pays a lot of money every time to get any kind of Olympics, even though I don't think the Winter Olympics are as popular as the Summer Olympics. I may have that wrong.
I think they are.
Are they? In terms of ratings?
I don't know about ratings, but I think they...
Well, how else would you measure it?
Just general interest. I
Word
guess,
of mouth.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
I think
that's ridiculous what you're saying. Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Are the Winter Olympics as popular as the Summer Olympics? Yes or no? And also put on the poll, is ratings the only way to measure the popularity of the Olympics? Because I don't think there's a second way.
Yeah, I think figure skating and hockey are the money sports for the Winter Olympics to me. But the thing that interested me is that the opening ceremony is Friday. They're in Italy, but the competition begins tomorrow, and so literally the Winter Olympics are starting like tomorrow, and everything is being buried by Super Bowl week and to a lesser extent by the NBA trade deadline. It's just a weird circumstance.
I think that happens every Olympics.
in the summer too. It definitely happens.
It's stupid. We're doing the skeet shooting, but wait, the opening ceremony is 6 days away. Like,
yeah, no, I think there have been times when the overlap hasn't been as great. I think there have been times when the Winter Olympics have started like before Super Bowl week or after or something.
It's weird. Like, what if you lose in your competition before the opening ceremonies?
They have.
And then
It's happened.
And then they trot you out and you're like waving your flag. Like, look at this loser. He's already out.
It's happened.
Do you guys think that Greg Cote is correct when he says, and he's not wrong about figure skating, but when he says the Winter Olympics are as popular as the Summer Olympics?
He is wrong.
He's wrong.
He is wrong.
Okay.
He has to be wrong.
All right, somebody check the ratings. Somebody who's
I didn't even know if it was happening.
Winter sports are not as relatable. Like, all the summer sports are completely relatable to the general public. The winter sports, like, what the hell is that going on there?
When's the last time you threw a javelin?
No, I understand, but at least it's
But I'm watching Usain Bolt, right? And I'd be like, I can do that.
Yeah, right.
Figure skating. Nope. Where am I going to find the ice? Well,
But-
probably a little Haiti.
When's the last time you were in a bobsled?
Go to Sunrise.
I do think, though, that Greg is right, though. If he were to nominate figure skating as the single most popular Olympic sport, I'd go track and field, I'd go gymnastics, but figure skating would be up there, right? Like what else do you put in that discussion? Swimming, less so.
Swimming's very popular, I think.
People love the swimming.
Yeah, but so if I made you
Name
guys
our country's greatest Olympic hero. Go.
Yeah, no, it's Michael Phelps.
It's swimming. He
Well,
swims.
but it's because he got us to wrap ourselves in the flag and care. He was swimming it, gold medal in it too. He made us feel like winners, and so therefore we cared about swimming. If somebody was doing that in any sport, if they were doing it in skeet shooting, we'd like
That's our guy.
If America had the most dominant skeet shooter, we'd be like, I love skeet shooting.
We
Skeeting
all
it.
love skeet shooting. But
Yeah, we do.
Remember the guy that you sat there, I don't know, the Turkish guy or whatever he was with the gun, and he just sat there raw dog, no I word, no nothing, would just shoot. If that guy was American, that guy would be amazing. He might run for president.
I like that guy.
Don't forget the pommel horse guy.
I'd already
forgotten.
forgotten.
We all love the pommel
it's like
horse
the
guy.
The Billy Gill pommel horse.
Yeah.
When Snoop Dogg
we all
watched-
got into pommel horse.
Not all of us.
Yeah. See, we can't relate to Summer Olympic sports any more than we can Winter Olympic sports. And the pommel horse is a good example. Nobody does all this stuff except athletes, right?
Well, the thing that is funny to me, the pommel horse is one form of gymnastics that is interesting. But remember the other day when I was talking to you guys, and I said to you, the squirrel suit that people use, they put a GoPro on their forehead and then they just jump off a mountain and they just slide next to the mountain for a lot of minutes, just falling to what could be their death at a high rate of speed. I asked the question, how do people get good at that? Because you got to get that right the first time. You don't get a second chance to practice that. The gymnastics of running, hitting the beam, and then doing several flips and landing correctly.
Sticking it.
Yeah, I've never understood how people get good at the first parts of that because it seems like it would be something that would injure you on the way to getting great at it, that you would just have to fall with a great deal of violence.
Today's the day we're going to try it.
Today's the day. That's your explanation
Gotta
for me.
get out there.
So
Today's
give
the day.
me the most popular Olympic sport, period. You have to pick one. Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Most popular Olympic sport, period. Figure skating, track and field, swimming.
Gymnastics has to be
or
up there.
gymnastics.
Track and field.
Those are the
I go
four.
gymnastics.
You go ahead and select from among what it is that you want. I wanted to get back to, before we get to Fred Warner here, this quote from James Harden in September
What do you say?
of 2024. So that is a year and a few months ago. A quote from James Harden. I'm home. I don't plan on going anywhere else. I want to leave a legacy on why he re-signed with the Clippers. And I understand why Zaz is complaining and why it is most sports fans would be like, you have a contract for this year and next year. How is it that you could possibly already want out of there and want an extension? And yet I'm surprised at what is the new normal, even though it's James Harden. I'm surprised that we're already here with this when that's the quote in September of 2024. Like, your words don't mean anything at all. Like, you don't actually care about anything that resembles the professionalism of this. And I ask you guys, does he have to? Like, if a player sees Jimmy Butler set the precedent of, no, just go ahead and make a mess the year before your contract comes up, even though you're under contract, because the end result is, and we can't question this, okay? Jimmy Butler won here. Jimmy Butler got what he wanted for throwing the temper tantrum. It was rewarded. He got to cash his guaranteed money right before his body broke down, and he feared that Pat Riley and the Heat organization was going to make his body break based on how it is that he had to play in the bubble and elsewhere because the playoffs were taking a great deal out of him.
James Harden gives off that he is completely comfortable with what his legacy will be. And as just Joe sports fan, James Harden is a cautionary tale of what can happen if you lean too hard into mercenary, if you don't care to play defense, if titles aren't a thing, you're always going to be brought up as a dude that is careless, especially on one end of the game. And I like, he seems happy with it. He's got his jersey retired at that gentleman's club in Houston. Like, he did it. $500 million. He's made a lot of money.
Well,
and he's been a joke in terms of like playing in this era that was defined by its superstars and the chase of trying to take them out. He never really figured into the equation. It's disappointing.
You say he's a joke, okay, but an MVP has never really been one of those. Generally,
until now.
Okay, but hold on. When he says, "I want to leave a legacy," okay, I want to go back to the conversation that we were having about sort of imperfect measurement systems, because James Harden played in a Game 7 that would have defeated those Warriors. That's as much as those great Warrior teams were challenged and took on all comers. There was a Game 7 that the Houston Rockets played at home against those Warriors. And if not for the fact that that was the one day that somehow they went something from three that never happens. Like, they play a million different games, the Rockets of James Harden, and they don't go from three what they somehow went from three in that game. If they just make like 5 more threes in that game that they would normally make, what were they from three in that game?
So, Dan,
something horrific.
Yeah, I pulled up the box score. The Warriors won 101-92. James Harden himself went 2 for 13 from the three-point line. The Rockets in totality as a team went 7 for 44. So
I think at one point they missed like 25 in a row.
Yeah. It was like a joke at one point where it's like, oh, they can't make a ball.
And so the thing I wanted to ask you guys about imperfect measurements as it applies to this, if for some reason they had made 5 more threes in that game and then won the championship, is Harden's legacy any different?
Yeah, because he's got to have a title too. Like, this is not a tiny thing.
And that's
5
not
more
an
threes
isolated.
is not a
That's not
tiny
an isolated game either.
Didn't they have a lead in that series too? No, his legacy is a guy that maybe could have been a champion, but very clearly didn't care enough to do the things either physically or on one side of the ball to help his team get better there. It's like, win with what I'm giving you. I'm not going to tap in some extra reserve. You're not going to see it on my face. I'm not going to be a meme. I'm James Harden. I play at my pace. I do what I want. And that's his legacy, which is why I think he's going to be a cautionary tale for superstars. Yes, absolute superstar. Yes, Hall of Famer. One of the greatest players of his generation will never be talked about in a flattering fashion.
And has been an especially poor big-time postseason.
What are you reaching for? If you're a smoker or dipper, you could be reaching for so much more with Zyn nicotine pouches. When you reach for Zyn, you're reaching for 10 satisfying varieties and 2 strengths for a smoke-free and spit-free experience that lets you lean in, for chances to break free from your routine, and a unique nationwide community. Whatever you're reaching for, reach for it with America's #1 nicotine pouch brand. Find your Zyn wherever nicotine products are sold near you. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
Listen up, folks. It's game day, and you already know what that means. The noise, the jerseys, the group chats going crazy. I'm telling you, no game day is complete without the world's #1 vodka. You know that is Smirnoff. We're talking easy cocktails, tons of flavors, perfect for every kind of fan over 21. Whether you're riding with your squad, watching from home, or celebrating like your team already won the first quarter, Smirnoff is the official vodka partner of the NFL. It's award-winning, and it's been bringing people together since 1864. Which is basically forever. Smirnoff does game days. Big energy, big moments, big wins. Hopefully. Grab a bottle of Smirnoff at your local retailer and head to Smirnoff.com to find a cocktail recipe perfect for game day. Please drink responsibly. Smirnoff #21 vodka, distilled from grain. 40% alcohol by volume. The Smirnoff Company, New York, New York. Please don't share with anyone under legal drinking age. Now let's get back to arguing about refs.
You know, people keep asking me about my 2026 resolutions, and yeah, I got the usual stuff. You know, watch more games, complain about the power play, and pretend like my team's actually going to stay healthy. But this year, the one at the top of my list is simple. Get comfy. That's where Bombas comes in. They bring serious comfort to my everyday essentials. Bombas just dropped their all-new sports socks, engineered for running, golf, hiking, skiing, snowboarding, basically whatever you're pretending you're about to be really into. And I'm trying to stay active this year by playing hockey. I need these socks. It has cushioning where you need it, it's sweat wicking, solid support, no distractions, just comfort. And for the everyday stuff, Bombas footwear has you covered. Sunday slippers for staying in, Friday sandals for quick errands, And the new Saturday suede slip-ons will win you on comfort, but still need to leave the house. Premium everyday go-tos I don't really think about, which is kind of the point. And for every item you buy, Bombas donates one to someone facing housing insecurity. One bought, one donated. Over 150 million items so far. Head over to bombas.com/DKN and use code DKN for 20% off your first purchase. That's BOMBAS.com/DKN, code DKN at checkout.
Dan Le Batard.
He has been great. He's made great hires.
I said all.
We've said all.
He said all that.
We've said all that.
Everyone has said everything.
First time I heard any of this, Greg.
Everything you're saying,
It's all been said.
It's all been said.
Okay, you got to understand one thing.
Stugotz.
Me maximum.
That's
Until
right.
I say it, it hasn't been said.
Boom.
Okay, understand that.
You're the mayor.
Until I say it, it hasn't been said.
Me maximum.
Me maximum. Me maximum. Me maximum.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz.
If I'm James Harden, I don't want anybody to feel badly about my legacy. I mean, he's won Olympic gold. He's one of the best shooting guards in history. 11 or 12 All-Star teams. He's going to be a Hall of Famer. Filthy rich, maybe at the top of the list. That's fine. Not everybody can be a champion.
Okay, but I just want to frame this conversation slightly differently because he didn't make those 5 threes and they didn't make those 5 threes. But if Trevor Ariza had made them 12 for 44 from 3 instead of 7 for 44 from 3. The thing that I want to frame for you about James Harden, when the quote is from September of 2024, I'm home, I don't plan on going anywhere else, I want to leave a legacy. The thing I want to frame for you is, do you realize if 5 more threes go in and possibly the Houston Rockets win the championship that year, that you'd be saying that his legacy is a joke, even if, because I do think he'd still have a legacy that was a joke, even if you was a champion, an MVP, and then the third one, the holy trinity of how you leave a legacy. And also, entirely changed the game with how it is that he played because he's the centerpiece of we're now going to take 53s because when Mike D'Antoni got him, he said to James Harden, you're going to take a bunch of threes and you're going to have to 15 assists a game. And James Harden looked at Mike D'Antoni and said, Coach be tripping. Like he said, there's no way that I'm going to do what it is that man is asking of me. Do you know how rare it is to be a joke with that as your resume? Those 3 things.
Yes, which is why it's a provocative talking point, because he is. You know who doesn't need a Trevor Ariza to be great? Dwayne Wade. That's who we're competing against.
But you say
most sports fans of this generation might take James Harden at shooting guard over Dwayne Wade. And give me Dwayne Wade's career a million
Everybody
times
needs
over
role
this
players,
guy.
though, Mike. Shane Battier and Mike Miller had 6 threes in those finals that if they didn't make those shots, the Heat wouldn't have won.
Yeah,
and Dwayne Wade would still be a champion.
He had 3
Okay.
championships.
Okay, and Kobe as well. Kobe would have other championships, but he did need Ron Artest to bail him out when he was 6 for 24 in a Game 7 against the Celtics at home that they would have lost if Ron Artest hadn't bailed him out.
Right, and he still has a 3-peat.
That's correct. Look,
it's just like
okay,
he doesn't
big
even
insult.
make it.
James Harden's not Kobe Bryant.
He doesn't make it to the
not
final.
Kobe Bryant to
He
us.
doesn't make it to the final. Like he went early in his career, and we were saying all those guys, like, wow, if they keep this together. Now they didn't, but quite honestly, I think he's 3rd of those triplets that they had in OKC. I think he's 3rd in terms of what they've accomplished and the legacy they'll leave behind, because they won't say the same things about Russell Westbrook that they'll say about James Harden. They won't. That guy was a dog on the court.
Well, but what they won't say about Russell Westbrook that they will say about James Harden is he can shoot. Like, change the game, revolutionize the game because he was playing something that was not aesthetically pleasing, but absolutely changed how everything was done in the NBA because 53s a game starts with James Harden and Mike D'Antoni.
It's just we're looking at it through a prism of like James cares about what his legacy is, right? Like he doesn't. So like it's a kind of a moot point because like, oh, D Wade's better than you. Okay, fine. What did I do? I made $625 million. Okay,
that's how he lives his life.
I'm good. I don't care about where you see me.
Totally comfortable. He's totally comfortable with that. I mean, I do think that people will look like you don't want to be that kind of superstar.
Well, look, rare is the perfect legacy, right? If you ask me, is James Harden an all-time great, quote unquote? Of course he is. He's an all-time great player. Is his resume perfect? No, it isn't. But if I'm James Harden, I got no problem with where I'm at in my career right now.
You guys say this, though. You say he doesn't care about his legacy, but the last words of the quote I just read to you was, I want to leave a legacy. Like
in 2024.
His agent might
and then
have
the
written
most
that.
recent thing that I know is, get me out of here so I can get 2 more years.
Yeah. And that's the legacy. Fred Warner has sat down, and I just saw a photograph. This made me happy. I just saw on the camera, it wasn't just Fred Warner, I saw a block of cheese that looked suspiciously like Fred Warner. I want to know where that block of cheese is, what you're doing with that block of cheese. I want to welcome you to the show. These guys were raving about Tillamook cheese.
Big Fred Warner.
I can't have that. Well, Fred Warner, too.
I'm a big Fred Warner guy.
You were raving about Fred Warner, but you got caught in the air there because you didn't know I was going to say you were raving about Tillamook cheese.
I'm a big Tillamook cheese guy, too.
Hey, aren't we all, man? We love Tillamook cheese around here. It's my go-to game day snack, man. Of course, you see here that we call this Cheddar Fred right here.
Whoa.
This Cheddar Fred. This is insane, man. I'm actually seeing this for the first time myself, so I will say this is unbelievable that they were able to pull this off right here. But yeah, whether it's, man, my favorite cheeseburgers, of course, dips, nachos, my son.
Is your mouth watering? I hear your mouth watering. Is your mouth watering right now?
You know what, man? I don't know how long this has been sitting out, so it'd be tough to really take a slice out of this one. But I will tell you, my son, God bless him, he might turn into a block of cheese with how much he eats on them sharp cheddar.
Those are fire.
Of cheese, man.
Yeah.
My wife loves the vanilla ice cream. Tillamook, man, it's amazing, man. We love it.
Does that block of cheese, let me see it again, please, look more like
take another look.
More like Fred Warner than Dwayne Wade's statue looks like Dwayne Wade? Because
it does. Anything does.
Yeah, right. No, it looks pretty good, man. I love it. I love the dreads. We got a nice little smile on there. Looks great, man.
Are you carrying it around? How does this work? Are they taking it from place to place for you?
Just like this, man. Just like I'm at a 5-star dining restaurant, man. I carry it around on the silver platter.
What more can you tell us? Because I'm always fascinated when we start Super Bowl week of how it is that some of these partnerships start. Can you take us behind the scenes on where it is and when it is that you get the calls of, hey, Fred, we want you to go around the Super Bowl, and we know that you're probably better at what you do than just about anyone in football is at what they do. We would like for you to wander around with a block of cheese that's 20 pounds and very much looks like you.
Well, man, you just mentioned it. When you're the best of the best at what you do, you want to work with other people that are the best of the best at what they do. And that's why Tillamook is the best of the best, at all dairy products, whether it's cheeses, different sour cream, butters, all the different little things, man. They are premium in everything. So only working with the best.
I have a number of different questions to ask you. I associate your team with toughness, and I associate you specifically with toughness. Can you please give me an example of people not possibly understanding what your pain threshold is?
It's hard to really verbalize, because when you think about everything that we go through, not only on game day, but in my situation, you go through a horrific injury, right? Something that I saw throughout the league, even growing up, guys sustaining this type of injury, and it's like, oh gosh, it's just such a one that you never think will happen to you until you're actually in it, right? But the mental toughness to make it through something like that, right? You see guys all the time, they tear the ACLs, they tear their Achilles, and they got to come back, and they're expected to be better than they were before, man. And having that toughness to be able to grind through injuries, being able to grind through a 17, 18-week game season. So, these guys are true gladiators on the field, man. And so it truly is an honor to be a part of the NFL.
Forgive me for pressing on this, but I don't feel like I have a better understanding of just how tough you are. And it might be a bad question, because I just don't think you're a normal human being. I think that your team is filled with lunatics, and you have some sort of strange culture there that allows you guys to be more violent at a violent sport than others are. And so I really do crave a sort of understanding of how you became that way.
I think you talk about everybody who is in the NFL. They all come from different upbringings, right? Different hardships that you have to endure when you're growing up, and you have to have something a little off upstairs to be able to go out there and say, hey, I'm going to willingly go into multiple car crashes every single play, every single week. And how does that develop over time? I don't know. I mean, everybody has this edge to them about different things that they went through in their life that now they're able to kind of like get out of themselves and onto that field. So it truly is just a melting pot of different guys who've gone through hard things to make them tough.
Is everyone in your locker room a little afraid of Trent Williams?
I'd say so. Yeah, anytime you got a guy who's over 300 pounds and has the feet of a ballerina in the midst of a grizzly bear, you definitely don't want the things getting on you. I'm glad he's on my team.
Your mother is of Mexican descent. Do you have much Mexican culture in your childhood?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And I have all my Mexican family is in LA, and we would go up there all the time and have different parties and stuff like that. And my grandmother, she is French Canadian, but her husband, who is my mom's father, is from Guadalajara, and she may he rest in peace, but he passed away when my mom was really young in a car crash, right? And so my grandmother was the one who had to instill all the Mexican culture into us and me and my siblings.
Your Spanish is okay? You speak Spanish?
Yeah, es poquito, más o menos.
Okay, I was not aware of that. You were drafted in the third round. If I sidled up next to you then and said, "What do you imagine your career's going to be?" How big did the dreams look, and have you exceeded them?
Oh my gosh, have I? I mean, my dream was to make it in the NFL. Let me just say, that was for sure the dream. I think when I got here and I realized I could do it, then it was like, all right, well, how far can I take it truly? And it really just took a bunch of dedication, commitment, the hard work. And I just continue to see different doors open for myself on the field. You asked the question, have I surpassed that? Absolutely. But the thing is now is I feel like there is no limit. I feel like I've never made it. I feel like there's always another thing to achieve. There's always another step to take. And so I'm always just trying to grind and be at my best at all times.
Do you have a point that you remember on remembering when and how you figured out you could do it? Like, when did you go from, I just want to make it into this league, to, no, I belong here?
I think making it through my first training camp, I came in and I was probably third on the depth chart. And then, I looked up and it was week one and on the road in Minnesota against the Vikings. And I was the starter at Mike linebacker with the green dot. With the responsibility of getting everybody lined up. And I had guys like Richard Sherman out there at corner and DeForest Buckner up in front of me. And these guys are in the huddle and they're looking at me dead in my eyes. And these guys have played high-level football, right? Richard had won a Super Bowl. And so I'm the one that's tasked with giving them the call. And so it just meant the world to me to have that responsibility. And being out there that first game, making a few plays, I'm like, okay, I can do this, right? And I think that was the moment that I kind of realized that.
Is it weird when the center is always pointing at you and shouting pre-snap and yelling that you're the Mike?
You ever try to hide from him?
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, no, I'm not the Mike. I'm the Will, or I'm the Sam. But, it is a little different. You're right, yeah.
Dan Le Batard.
What is the worst part of the life?
Stugotz.
The worst part of the life of what?
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz.
Fred, the difficult question has to be asked here. The cheese sculpture of your head, will that eventually be eaten, or is it meant just to be perpetually enjoyed visually?
I think the latter. I think the longer that it sits out, just like most dairy products, you don't want to partake. But it is a beautiful, beautiful replication of me.
Aren't you tempted, though? Aren't you tempted to just take a little piece
replication, whatever that word is?
I'm glad for that mispronunciation. That was fun. I appreciate that you did that. You didn't need to correct it.
It's early.
So you end up going to BYU, but the hopes and dreams of making in the league, once it is you get to highest paid linebacker in the league last year, is there any specific emotion that you associate with that, the day you signed and became the highest paid linebacker in the league?
Absolutely. I mean, that's another one of those dreams of yours, is to achieve something like that. To be outright I guess from a a paid standpoint, like the best in the league, and I think in league history as well. So it was something that was a huge marker for me and my family to help provide for my family, my children, in future children that may come, and just to have that security as well, playing for the best organization in the world in the San Francisco 49ers, for them to have that trust in me. And it truly happens not just by my own efforts. It's a group effort. You know, the players that I've been able to play alongside, the coaches that I've had the opportunity to learn from, and different mentors, like all of that goes into account when things like that happen. It's not just the person who is receiving the contract.
Fred, I think in the history of the league. Fred, I think. Fred, I think in the history of the league.
Oh boy. Yeah.
You know, in the history of the league, you know very well that you're the highest paid. You were the highest paid linebacker in the history of the league. Was there emotion? Yeah. Was there, like, where is the gratitude in that emotion? Given that that's the look. Everybody plays for different reasons, and it's clear from the way you play because you love the sport. But to arrive at, I'm one of the best, and this league is being forced to value me in a way that proves it and is historic, I would imagine that the gratitude of that, given the entirety of the journey, could move even a tough man to tears.
Yeah, you know, and I will say I was blessed with the opportunity to be highest paid twice in my career, right? I got to sign the highest paid contract back in 2021, I believe. And it truly was moving to tears both times. And my gratitude is through the roof in both instances. And, you know, it's a culmination of everything. You kind of see your life flash before your eyes of everything that it took to even get to that point, right? And, you know, you sign the deal, and then now it's like, man, it's right back to work. And that's where I'm at, and that's where I'll always be, regardless of the situation.
It was reported by many people that you were very close to coming back for the last game of the 49ers season. And my response to that was, there's no way he can be coming back. How in the world could he be coming back? How close were you to coming back?
I was a game away. You know, the idea all along within our building, you know, amongst the trainers and team staff and everybody that was involved in my recovery process was that, you know, the safest way to not be safe, which would be coming back early, right? But the safest way in doing that was to come back for the NFC Championship game. And so, you know, we were one game away. Unfortunately, we couldn't get it done in Seattle, and they've gone on to be, you know, in the Super Bowl this year. But the fact that I was even in that position to ultimately make it back only a game away was, I think, a success in itself. You know, the fact that I was on that field in practice on that Thursday, the week going into that game, and I'm asking them, I'm like, hey, like, you know, is there a chance that I can play in the divisional game? Like, the fact that those were conversations being had, I think that is a huge blessing in itself.
If the next game had been a Thursday night game, would you have played in it? Like, how were you days away, literally days away from being able to tough that out?
Yeah, you know, it was. Well, I don't know if you know, Thursday night, Saturday night, Sunday night. I don't know the logistics of all of that, but it truly was just a week away, right? I think they wanted to just try to hold everything off as long as possible, because every single day mattered a ton when it came to when it came to healing from my injury.
So Seattle, because you guys had just gone to Philadelphia, Seattle ends up smoking the 49ers, who, like, you were broken at that point physically, a lot of guys. Do you have an opinion, given how close the games were between the Rams and Seattle, when it is that you look at Seattle in the Super Bowl? Do you see an appreciable difference between who's better between those two teams?
Between the Rams and Seattle?
Yes.
Well, of course, the Seattle's better because they won that game, right? And at the end of the day, you know, these games, especially in the playoffs, it's not about who's the better team. It's who plays the best for 60 minutes in that ball game, right? Now, I've had plenty of instances where I thought we were the better team going into a certain game, especially in multiple Super Bowls, and we just unfortunately weren't the better team for those 60 minutes. So that's just how this game is, man. There are no seven-game series, you know, best of seven situations. It's one game.
Has Sam Darnold surprised you?
Yeah, I think so. I think he surprised a lot of people. And I have somebody telling me that I gotta go. But yeah, man, this is what I'll say about Sam Darnold real quick. Is I'm proud of him. He's obviously a 49er at heart. I know he is, even though he has to wear that disgusting blue jersey now. But I'm all respect and love to Sam. I'm super happy for him and hope the best for him this Sunday.
We have to wrap.
Okay, thank you. We appreciate your time. Tillamook Cheese is an excellent cheese that I'm not allowed to have because it's got dairy and I have dairy. I know, I got it. Fred, thank you for being on with us. Right. We appreciate the time.
Thanks, guys.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Dan, as the quarterback of the defense, I wanted to see if the defensive play calls are as challenging as the offensive play calls. And then I saw his White Panda Rolex, and I wanted to ask him about that. And
we have to wrap.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what happened, right? He had to go. I saw Cote chomping at the bit. He wanted to get in there.
Yeah, I was going to, maybe this is not the right question, but I had to ask him about the speculation that 49ers injuries are linked to the electric substation. I want to, on a scale of serious to silly, how does he process that?
I feel like if we had more time and I was able to ask one more follow-up, I couldn't have gotten him to say the Rams are just as good as the Seahawks.
It was
maybe even better.
It was a 2-point conversion, and if Seattle in the second game doesn't get the 2-point conversion at the end of the game, it wouldn't have been.
Damn right.
That would have been a better question, actually. That
would have been, yeah. You could have followed up with him.
Yes,
you didn't.
That was
former journalist.
No, I regret. We asked a bunch of questions about the cheese.
I asked a bunch of questions about him crying. Finally got one. That was big. Huge. Got a little awkward there.
Fred, I didn't like that answer to this question, so I'm going to re-ask
Keep asking. That's what we do over here.
Well, the question that was most awkward, though, was the 4 follow-ups I had on you think you were the highest paid player in the league.
Yeah.
That was a withering.
We did that strangely.
I'll ask you 4 times how emotional that was for you.
Long pause there from Fred.
Woo! That was a withering stare that he gave to me. I thought the connection had dropped. It's just that, and then he plays the trump card of, well, I believe that happened twice. I believe I was the highest paid player in the league.
Replication.
Chris Cote told me, he whispered in my ear, I have that for you at the end. I'm like, have you not seen where it is? I want to be careful here. Like, Chris Cote had something. This is the same guy.
He called himself out for that. He would have had fun with it.
Replication.
Do you think?
Maybe.
He was like disciplining himself. He's like, why'd you make that mistake? You said a word wrong.
His inner monologue.
Replication.
Chris Cote.
Radio row, baby.
Yes. Well, Chris Cote.
I love a handler being like, we got to go. We got to go.
Chris Cote showing the same judgment there that he showed earlier in the show when we played the face that he and Jeremy made when they walked away from Shaquille O'Neal. Just delighted because Shaquille O'Neal said, not joking, serious face, not fooling around at all, I want to kill Dan le Batard. For some reason, can we get that sound again just so that everyone can see how it is that Jeremy and Chris Cote, both of them, delighted in something? You understand how that this is serious. This is a real thing. How would you feel if you were me in this situation and all of this was happening? These are human beings that are paid for by Meadowlark Media to help support me in whatever it is our endeavors are around here. And the most giant man that they've ever seen, right? Jeremy, both of you have never been in the presence of someone this size before, even though both of you have been in basketball locker rooms before. This is the biggest human being either one of you have ever been next to, correct?
Yeah, for me, I mean, the closest thing is Embiid, and I know in Chris's experience in the locker room, it probably is similar.
I mean, I think he's about 50 to 75 pounds heavier than
Although
Embiid.
he had Pat Riley come over and he goes, hey, you can check body weight percentage. That was a fun little moment that we didn't get in the video.
Isn't he though? If I had to guess, I'm gonna guess. How much does Embiid weigh? 275? Like three? You think 300?
He's got to be close
guy.
to 3.
He's a 3-bill guy. I got him at 280.
Got to be 3
per Google AI, which means it's probably wrong.
Well, having stood next to both of them.
Ooh, bona
Joel
fides.
Embiid is not, to me, as physically.
Shaq is definitely bigger than Joel
No,
Embiid.
but I'm thinking it's not just that he's definitely bigger. I think he might be 75 pounds bigger.
Joel Embiid would probably hold the mic if I offered it to him.
So I want to play this for the people here as the closeout here. And again, Zaz, I want to ask you am I supposed to be okay with Chris Cote and Jeremy because of how delighted they are? Shaq's serious. He's not. That's not a joke that Shaq is making.
Okay, hell yeah, man. I love that. Our boss, Dan Lebitard, thinks that you hate him. How right is he?
I do hate him. However, I will never disrespect him. If I seen him with his family, I'm going to be like, hello, Mr. Dan. But if we're in a place where we can go at it. And Dan, I'm going to kill you when I see you.
There's a little nervous laughter going on there.
It's infuriating. It's legitimately infuriating.
I'm a little scared too,
We're both
actually.
scared. He's going to kill our boss.
That's not the face of fear. Look at the two of you.
It was pretty delightful.
Look at you. That's so
charming,
I've ever
man.
seen Jeremy.